What is your YouTube name? My YouTube name means my whole name. Crystal Ratstoff. That's my name. I use it because it's easy for me to remember.
You want to know about the name Ace Blade? Let me tell you. About 10 years ago, I used to explore rainforests. I would go on various expeditions, but this particular one I was going through the Mexican rainforest, and I had with me a trusty native Mexican guide. He usually followed me on all of my expeditions. Very good friend. During this particular one, we were going through a very dense part of the jungle, very hard to see, so he's standing in front of me, he's slashing away at the vines, he's going through, and I'm standing behind him looking out for any kind of wild animals. We keep walking, and a couple feet ahead he suddenly falls down and he starts sinking, and I realized what had happened. He had fallen in some quicksand. So he's screaming up at me in this native tongue, "Oh my goodness, help me, get me out of here, I need to get out." And I'm looking at, oh crap, I'm trying to reach down and grab him, but I can't. I'm screaming like, "You gotta get out of there, you can't leave me here, oh don't worry, get me out, I need you, help me, get me out." And he just keeps sinking, and I'm trying to reach down, and I almost had him. Moments before he fell to his death in the quicksand, he looked up at me and goes, "Always remember my family name, remember the name Ace Blade." And then he sunk, and that was it. And he was a very, very good guide. I'll never forget him, which is why I always carry the name Ace Blade, his beloved family name.
What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other word would smell as sweet.
Okay, so somebody had to say that line, and I'm sure that actually a bunch of people, other people submitting videos have said that line. I think that it's very true. I think that the most important thing about your member name is what you make of it. But aside from that, number one important thing, legibility. Something that I can look at and read it, and I'll hear it in my head, there's a sound to it, and that makes it so much easier to remember if it's legible. There's not a bunch of numbers in between letters and X's and O's, and actually if you look at the most subscribed channels ever of all time, you'll notice that those names are pretty legible generally. So yeah, other than that, I really like simple names generally, like Los, for example. I think it's Los. It might be Los. I'm not sure. I mean, his name is really simple. His member name is really simple. It's easy to remember, and so that's what I think makes a good member name. Just being creative. And I think with YouTube, you know, so many names are taken, but that's just a chance to be creative and to put your own words together. And I kind of, not to be insulting, but I think an uncreative way to make up for that is to just add some numbers to something. Unless the numbers have meaning, like a date or an age, like Blunty 3000, or Boheme, or Annaconda 1984, or Lonely Girl 15. Those are also easy to remember, but a bunch of random X's and O's and numbers, I just can't read them, and I can't hear the sound in my head, and I don't remember you. But, I mean, that isn't to say that you can't become popular just because your name has a bunch of stuff like that in it. If that's what you choose, that's cool. It's just, it might be a little bit harder for people to remember you. So yeah. Where did my name come from? My name came from basically a pun that my husband and I were making in Japanese. Ningyo, depending on how you say it and how long the vowel is at the end, can either mean doll or mermaid, and since I was a kid I wanted to be a mermaid.
Hi. Annaconda 1984 had written me and asked me to explain the origin of my username, Automobile. My real name is Daniel Beal. Beal, being my last name, B-I-E-H-L. And I've been told it's German, which I have no proof to back that up. Anyway, I thought it would be clever one day if I put the German-sounding Otto, O-T-T-O, at the beginning, and put Mo in the middle, M-O, kind of a Three Stooges thing, and have it come out sounding like automobile, A-U-T-O-M-O-B-I-L-E, another name for a vehicle. That's my clever way of coming up with my member name. I've had people comment and say it was really clever, and I've had people say it was stupid. But there you have it. Enjoy.
My name is Lister of Smeg, that's how you pronounce it. It's not pronounced any other way, it's pronounced Lister of Smeg because it's 3 separate words. Lister of Smeg is a quote from a TV series called Red Dwarf. It was used in episode 2 of series 7 called Stoke Me a Clipper. See attached.
Is there any man across the length and breadth of our great land that dare challenge the King's best knight?
I do, sir.
And you are, sir?
Lister of Smeg.
Good night. You accept this challenge from Lister of Smeg?
I do, my king.
And lastly, I was born. It was originally used in my gamer name, hence the context it was used in the actual clip you saw. But I decided to end up using it for everything, and I'm now known throughout the world as Lister.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about username, screen name. Now, some people are wondering how I got my screen name. As you know, if you haven't seen my videos, you've met my friend Taylor. Taylor used to say that was pretty intense, a lot. So the name the word kind of stuck. I kind of used intense a lot. So it ended up being Intense Check. They were supposed to be intense videos. So I guess they're not that intense. We'll try to make them more intense. But I was also here to talk about what makes a good screen name.
A really, really good screen name.
Like a really good screen name. In screen names, you really want to show your originality. What your movies are going to be about. How you are. And it has to be something that stands out. Try to make one original, not one with numbers. What your movies are going to be about. How you are. And it has to be something that stands out. Try to make one original, not one with numbers. Like something that no one else has. Something you thought of just on your own. Something that really describes you and your videos that you will make on YouTube. Like if you like pogo sticking, make it something about pogo sticking. And if you fall a lot like me, make it something about that.
Yeah, that was a real fall.
If you like spiderwebs, you should make a screen name for that too. Ew, that's a dead bee.
If you like snorkeling, here's something for snorkeling.
There's a screen name for everything. Don't just focus on one thing.
All you need to do is make sure you have a screen name that shows the real you.
Show yourself! It's all about the screen name, people. It's about the screen name.